Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Grumpy Vlogger Live.
Whoa, I'm here. Hey, I'm here. Whew, what a day, what a day. I'm just running about half speed, and I'm running, for every step forward, I jump back two. So it's just been one of them days. I'll go into that in a little bit, but hey, let's go ahead and bring on everybody's favorite, all-time greatest munchkin. And no, it is not Hugh Grant. It is Art Carlson. Actually, Hugh Grant is an Oompa Loompa instead of a munchkin.
Oh,
so
Oompa Loompa.
Yeah. So anyways, how you doing, Art?
I'm doing good. The eye is doing much better. It's just
Good.
a little bruised right here. Went and saw Oppenheimer this afternoon.
Oh,
Good
did
movie.
you? Is it a good movie? Okay, I'll have to
Mhm.
I'll have to catch it whenever it comes on.
Netflix,
streaming video.
Hulu,
Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
Paramount,
Paramount. Yeah.
Voodoo.
They've got. There's so damn many of them. I can't keep track. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So hey, let's go ahead and bring in our other guest, the man who is in charge, Mr. Charles himself. And hello, Charles. How you doing?
Hey, Art. Lloyd. Art. The folks in the chat.
So, have you had a shitty day, or has it been a good day, Charles?
Well, let's just say that there hasn't been a lot of shit today. Lloyd's referring to the fact that our septic is full. My brother stopped over.
It's full of something.
Yeah, my brother stopped over with a buddy of his late in the morning, and they dug out the lid and popped it open, and it is indeed full. It's not the lines in the house are not plugged. So we called the same guy that emptied it out for us a few years ago, and they're supposed to be here sometime tomorrow.
Get the tank and suck it all out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good. So
You don't have a leaching field out back?
However, it's not really out back. It's like at the other end of the yard.
Right.
And I'm not sure how this all works.
Yeah.
What happened was we used to have at the very edge of the property an additional tank.
Yeah.
That may have been disconnected and buried. We're talking, decades ago, and I don't really
Right.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well,
on the upside, Monday is our regular grocery shopping day, and what we decided to do is we couldn't go get everything because we were starting off pretty late in the day. So we went to the other nearest store that we like to shop at, got a few things there, went to our favorite ice cream place, had our favorite ice cream, and just on the way home we visited with my aunt for a few minutes. So that made the whole day.
Yeah.
The morning was a little uncomfortable and a little weird, but the afternoon and evening have more than made up for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, we've got a I'll talk about that. Let's bring in our next panelist, the Thunder from Down Under, Mr. Dominic. Hey, Dominic.
Thank you. Hello to everybody in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, there's no guarantee my internet will stay on. So tomorrow I'm going to be calling. All the neighbors are complaining. We're all, we're getting tired of it. And so we're going to find out. But yeah, today, because I am we're moving Judy back into the big handicap bedroom, master bedroom. And I've been working on that for about a week, getting all the stuff I had stored there, put in different boxes and relocated. So, but the water had been shut off there because we put a new PEX line that goes from the main line. It has its own shut-off valve, and then it runs to the to that end of the house. So it's a separate hot water tank, separate water system, independent by itself. But I didn't realize they had tied it into our no-freeze faucet out there. and that was PVC, and it has gotten brittle, and it was leaking. So I shut it off last year sometime. So today we were going to dig that up, but the ground was too hard, but we needed the water back there, so I had to go turn it on. Well, that was another story because it's down inside a manhole, like a meter cover. But every time somebody mows over that, well, dirt falls in it, grass falls in it. I had to dig this much dirt out with a spoon, and you only got this much space. So I'm doing that and the first time I thought, oh, I've got it. And my neighbors come over, because I couldn't even find the lid. It was so buried under the grass. And he come over and got one of those, he had one of them hooks to pull it open with. And so I was out there in the front yard on my hands and knees with a big serving spoon digging out
Even
that
drama
hole.
queens need a complete breakfast.
That was it right there. And there was all sorts of other problems going on today too. And I've had about 2 hours sleep because I did not sleep good last night. And so.
Enough about your wardrobe malfunction.
That's it right there. But anyway, so that's how my day has gone. Let's say hi to everybody in the chat.
Yes. We got Joe, Captain Joe, America, USA Drone Flyer. We got Laura, Little Llama Laura, Chris Wedgeworth, Tim Jackson, Tito's little brother.
Yeah.
We got Justin, Droner Gaming RP. We got Waypoint
Wedgeworth.
New England. We got
good,
Steven Drones. Cool Cat Michael. And, we got
Steven Jones, Cool
Tim
Cat.
Jensen. Matt.
Yeah.
420.
Max.
Hey, Matt.
Oh,
Good to
Matt.
see
Yeah.
you, Matty.
Yeah.
Matty's Drone World is here. Brett,
Hello,
Mr.
Matty.
Stay Drunk. And we got Glenn, Thunderbird 6.
Thunderbird 6. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
the X-Wing. It's not
The
just
X-Wing.
X-Wing. The X-Wing.
The X-Wing, yes. And with Arizona
We
Street
got
Media,
David, AZ Drone Dude.
right?
Mm-hmm.
We got Jody is on here. Drone Shots. He's on
Jody,
here.
Drone Shots, and Windwalker Drones is here. And we also have Arizona Street Media.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I appreciate, Johnny Drone Flyer put up a thing about today on Facebook, and he was, he wrote in there, that do you watch more drone channels now, or do you watch less? Because a lot of the drone channels have just gotten into the panel type discussion, and as he puts it, it becomes a bullshit session. And I said, well, I'm a vlogger. I'm not a drone expert, so I don't talk about drones because I'm a vlogger. And I said, and most of our show is a bullshit show. That's what we,
Yeah, so if you want experts in bullshit, you've come to the right stream.
That's right.
Shrimp
Yeah.
Wayne is like Jamie Oliver, full of shit.
And
got
I
Chris
said,
Hope.
oh, hello, Chris. And like I said on there, I said, my dad used to say, if you can't dazzle them with brilliance, baffle them with bullshit.
Yeah,
We do
I'm
more
good at
baffling. We baffle them more than any other channel out there.
We're the great
So,
bafflers.
yeah, we are the great bafflers.
We
Yeah.
put the B in BS.
Yes, we do. But anyway,
I was gonna say, do
and
we
I enjoy
really
doing it.
baffle people, or are we carriers?
That's true too. Yeah. Yeah. So, oh my God. Like I said, I'm running about, I was right in the middle. I was
half
talking
tank?
to I'm running about a quarter tank. And
Chris Wedgeworth.
we had a slight mishap with Judy's air hose today. And, I had to go,
Enough about your wardrobe malfunction.
yeah, it could have been major, but it was, well, it was entertaining. I'll say that much, but yeah, got to be careful with those air hoses, oxygen hoses. So they can create problems, yes.
especially if you're smoking. We had a mishap when my dad had oxygen, and he was hooked up to liquid oxygen tank. So, what?
That's
we were
what I was
sitting
trying to put.
front, and he decided to put his cigarette down. Well, that breeze caught it. It hit the air hose, and all of a sudden you hear this watching flames shoot out the end of this hose, and it's going crazy. So I went over and stomped on it, and then we went inside, turned off the oxygen.
Well, she has a constant feed compressor system. They make the small. She has a small one, and it is breath activated. It's activated, but this one is a constant feed. And what happened is, I think I laid one of us. She took it off. She had it off, but one of us laid it across the ashtray, and it burned in two. And of course, it burnt right where the two lines were at. So I had two flames going everywhere, and I'm stomping on it, and that's how that got. Because I'm sitting there trying to put it out on top because it was on the table, and it was just, and finally I got it stopped, and got the fire stopped. And it was just for it didn't damage anything. It was exciting for a few minutes, and I ran out there, and then I went down to get her a new cannula, and they didn't have them at Walgreens, so then I had to go to Walmart, and of course this is Memorial Day weekend. All the old people and all of us yeah, that's what I said. Labor Day. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
I know it was almost a memorial, but no, it was Labor Day. And I had to go to Walmart, so you have all the old crazy vets out there like myself, and then you have all the old farts out there like myself, and they all got paid Friday. So this weekend is a crap weekend. It's a 3-day holiday, so all the little kids were out too. It's like, God almighty. And I hate going to Walmart anyways, but yeah, so.
You don't have a medical supply place there?
Not that's open today.
Oh,
Yeah.
we got CT Pirate.
Hello.
Good point there, Michael.
What's that?
Nothing wakes you up more like an oxygen fire.
Yes, that's true. That's right.
Valid
Yeah.
point.
No,
CT
nobody
Pirate is a little gray.
I see that. I'm trying to fix that right now. Nobody got injured.
Good.
It didn't damage anything other than burn through their hose. And so I was able to put it out, but yeah, it got the old pump, the old heart pumping. So I'll catch you later, Jim Jackson. Well, good night.
Good night, Laura.
And thanks for stopping in. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by.
So, yeah, and as I said, it was so that's why I got here just as it was time to start things, because I was literally on the phone with my son talking to him, because where he lives, which is about, I guess probably about 20 blocks up and over from us. And right now they have you're welcome, CT Pirates. And I'm sure that's Connecticut Pirates is what that stands for.
Yeah, that's what I was feeling.
But they're having a standoff over in his neighborhood, just over. Ooh. So I called to make sure he was okay, and he says, yeah. And there's some roving reporter guy that does, I guess he does it on YouTube or does it with the police department. And they were watching the live feed, but they can see it's actually right across the street from one of the guys he works with's houses. So some guy kidnapped a gal from New Mexico, or he was wanted. He has warrants out for him in New Mexico, and he brought this gal up, and he's holding her hostage up there in that part of town. So,
oh boy,
it's like, okay, I better call Pat and make sure he's okay. And well, you're quite welcome, TT Pirate. Yes, it stands for Connecticut. So, but anyway, so that's why I was running late, and I've done something different, instead of having because when we end this show, and that's it, because nobody wants to sit around and watch that damn timer tick off for 5 more minutes. So I've decided I've started watching the way other channels do it, and I've got a very short 28-second little video that just, and so whenever I get ready, all I got to do is reach over there, touch the button, say, hey guys, run the video, and it's, and it's over. So that way, nobody has to sit around for that damn 5-minute video. Yes. Right. Cool cat. Yeah. What he was.
Yeah. I believe that'd be Apollo 1.
Well, that was an accident. No, this guy's, he lit a cigarette. So.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
We got Mika Steve. Hey, Steve.
Mika Steve. Cat Skills Brad.
Cat Skills Brad.
Yeah. Yeah, because Apollo 1 was an electrical short. And.
Yes.
And, yeah.
And the door,
that was a
the
pure
door,
oxygen environment.
The door pushed inward, and they couldn't get in because of the pressurization. Yeah. That was. I remember when that happened, and that was really, really sad. So, and as a matter of fact, which astronaut was it Grissom? Was it Gus Grissom that died in that? Yeah. Grissom,
he was actually the second astronaut in space.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
his ship sank in the ocean. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they really put it. He didn't fly any Gemini missions, and they put him on the back burner because of that ship sinking, because of his Mercury sinking, and because he said they thought he popped it, because.
Popped the door or whatever.
Popped it. Yeah, but it turned out there was apparently a mechanical issue with that door that caused it, and they were able to. And by the time the Apollo program came around, is when they finally started to let him. Mm-hmm. But he was actually the second person. John Glenn was the first guy to orbit the Earth.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, and White was on that Apollo.
Yes.
He's the first man to walk in space.
I think the other one now.
Walk in space, yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I can't remember yeah, I can't remember. I haven't looked at that so long.
January the 27th, 1967.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that was an exciting time.
Yes.
That whole 60s, as far as the space race was going, that really was an exciting time. Everybody stopped. I don't care which country you're from. It was. I mean, I remember watching them land on them. And of course, there's the guys with the tinfoil hats.
There we go.
I don't have my conspiracy. Yeah, I don't have my hat on, so I'm not going to talk about that. But I remember watching it, and it was impressive. So. Are you smoking there? What are you on fire there? Because it looks like you got smoke coming out of your ears there, Dominic.
No, just a vibe.
Oh, well, it looked like smoke was coming out of your ears. I'm thinking, okay, something's on fire there. You better run.
Now my brain gets like that sometimes.
Yeah, mine does too. Yeah.
I'm not programmed to respond. Norman. Shh. Please respond.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they changed. You're right, Cat. They did. See, he was unable to get his cigarette out, stamped on it, and ignited the shoe, and then the foot, etc. Yeah. That's referring to the other story he's talked about. Yeah, they had to change the way that. And I think the reason they wanted it to go in because the pressure would hold it in space or hold it in place, was because they didn't want it popping out like what happened in the Mercury program. So,
right.
But my favorite of the three between the Mercury, the Gemini, and the Apollo, my favorite was the Gemini. I thought those were the coolest space capsules, the double.
Yep.
Of course, what was neat was when I went into the Air Force and went into weapons loading, and we trained there at Lowry Air Force Base. One of the aircraft we trained on was the F-111, which was very much like the cockpit. It reminded you because it had the wing doors.
The gull wing doors.
Yeah, the gull wing doors, and it you sat side by side in it, and when it if you had to eject from that thing, the whole thing went up and it came down like a capsule. And that was kind of neat after seeing, watching the Gemini crafts, and then being able to sit in something like that. And it was kind of cool, but I was always scared though, because they scared us to be extra careful with those ejection seats, because if you accidentally pull it, it was going to run you through the hangar ceiling. So, of course, after we all graduated, we came to the conclusion that those things weren't armed. they had taken the arming the ejection device out. But the first thing they tell us is, be careful when you get in there. We had a guy here last year. He pulled that thing, went right through the ceiling. There's blood dripping off the ceiling. It's just the worst case scenarios. And we were just E1s and E2s. And just airman basics or airman first. Airman basic or airman first class. And so, but
I still get kicked out of the SpaceX launches when watching that booster come back. I just think that is
that is the coolest
cool
thing. Yeah.
The way they could do that, and it lands on a barge or back at the pad, right next to where it launched.
And that's cool to see, especially those of us that grew up watching this during the space race. This is even, this is like bringing that all back. It's they could reuse it over and over. Where before, you watch them go up and you watch those boosters, they just land in the ocean. Yeah. And years later, they found some of the old Saturn V engines at the bottom of the ocean. They brought some of them back. Well, it was designed by DJI Alburn. They just pressed the return to home button.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, what gets me though is the one that Bezos his aircraft. Like, what the hell was he thinking when he designed that thing?
Yeah, the flying penis. Yeah.
Like, really? You couldn't come up with something better than that? I mean, more convincing.
Well, they must have been watching one of the Austin Powers movie where Dr. Evil escaped in that rocket.
He's compensating.
Yeah.
Yeah, throwing away cool cast, right? You're right. Throwing away those boosters. I mean, that was the expense on those things. You just like throwing away a jetliner. I mean, it's just but it was a really neat time to be. Did any of you ever build either the Saturn V with the Apollo or build the or build the? I built the Gemini because that was my favorite.
Ooh.
And
Cool.
yeah, I built the Gemini capsule, and it was. I mean, it was when I got done with it. It wasn't big enough for the G.I. Joes that they had back when I was a kid, but it was big enough for the new G.I. Joes, the little short 6-inchers. It came with two astronauts that were about that size of what the little 6-inch the Viagra saucer. That's what Glenn said. The Viagra saucer. Yeah, and that's
and with the space shuttle, they did reuse the booster. Not the center booster, but the solid rocket booster.
The solid rocket.
Because those would come back on a parachute. Land in the ocean.
Yeah, my brother-in-law, who's married to the younger of my two sisters, all my siblings were older than me. He was actually Mad Props Media, welcome.
Hey.
And Andrew, if I didn't say hi to you.
NPM. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. He was on the Hornet when they were doing the USS Hornet when they did and he was a scuba diver, and so he was one of the guys out there, helping bring the lines in so they could pick them up and carry them and put them on the Hornet. And he was there for some of the space recovery. So, yeah. So he would tell us, to be honest with you, he was an ass. He was worthless, but, but anyways, but but it was neat, say, hey, that was one of those guys out there in them rubber suits out there swimming around trying to get all those lines hooked up to the, trying to think, would have been in the late 60s, so that would have been the Apollos. Yeah. Wasn't it? We went to the moon in 68, right?
69.
69, that's right. My sister died in 68, and they were already doing the, I have to, I'm getting old, hell.
Even drama queens need a complete breakfast.
Yeah, it reminds me, I don't think I've had breakfast today. I've been too busy doing other stuff. But let me tell you, when one of them little, and they're just those little tiny rubber oxygen hoses, when it burns during the part that's supposed to go up over you, and it was actually, Judy didn't have it on. That was a good thing. It just, we hadn't shut the machine off. She takes it off, and it burnt through, and he had two flames shooting out of that. Let me tell you, that was a sight to see. Yeah, I was like,
You already told us.
I know, but it was just, it was just, it was exciting. Yeah. I told you I'm not playing on a full deck, guys. 2 hours of sleep is not enough to have that kind of excitement.
And beyond!
Oh, hang on here. So, I think that's why my kids and grandkids don't come around much, because I tell them the same damn story. What's worse is Judy tells them the same story, but she forgot that she told them that, and she changes some of the people in it.
The names have been changed to protect
the innocent. Yeah. Yes.
What show was that from?
Yeah. Dragnet.
Oh yes, that's right.
It was Dragnet with Jack Webb, who was the producer.
And Harry Morgan.
Harry Morgan was not the original sergeant, though. He wasn't the original sidekick. I can't remember who the other guy was, but when Dragnet
Al Lewis?
No, it wasn't Al Lewis. That was on Car 54. Where are you? I know. For those of you that don't know, that's reaching for a name, but he was Grandpa Munster. And he also played on Car 54, Where Are You, along with Fred Gwynn, played Herman Munster. Yeah. Yeah. And actually was that, did the guy who played the Riddler also play on that, Gorshin?
Frank Gorshin.
Frank Gorshin, was he on Car 54 or not? I know he was on. Yeah, I know he was on Gomer Pyle once or twice.
The short guy.
And I cannot remember.
In, Sergeant Bilko.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's and that's going back. That's when it was all black and white. Some of those shows, like Car 54, it was all black and white. I mean,
and so it's the Munsters, except for the movies.
The movies, yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm sure. I know that the Addams Family was all black and white.
Yep.
But yeah, they did. They went to Transylvania in one of the movies, and as Munster Go Home, and I think the other one was the drag race one, where man, those are some smoking hot looking cars. That Dracula.
They had that coffin.
Dragster. Yeah,
that was so cool.
The Dracula dragster, that was just, that's one I'd like to see. I've seen the Batmobile. I've actually got a picture of me sitting in the Batmobile. But I would like to see those. The guy who designed those was just a genius at designing that kind of stuff. And like the Red Baron car, they made a model out of. There was a model made out of it, but it was a real car, and it had this giant chrome World War I type helmet with a spike in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that was all chrome.
That's called a pickle halba.
Yeah, what you said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lucky I even remembered what the hell that was. But yeah, that.
And
I built a
on
model of
Hogan's
that
Heroes, it was always on Colonel Clink's desk.
Yes, yeah, that's right. You got to give it to the Germans. They had some sharp-looking uniforms compared to us.
Yes, they did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dragula. That's right, Glenn. Thunderbird 6. That's right. It was called Dragula.
Mm-hmm.
And those were that was when, people had a sense of humor. Nobody was, you could watch, people weren't as offended by it. Oh my God, if you look at some of the Dean Martin roasts and some of the, good Lord Almighty, those things,
especially the ones with Don Rickles. Oh, God.
Or when you had, or Soupy Sales, or even,
Phyllis Diller.
Flip Wilson, and there was those roasts are classic, but they were definitely could be considered offensive in today's time, but
yes,
hell, if you fart off the wrong cheek, you're considered offensive nowadays,
especially if you don't use the right pronoun.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, that's just here's something. Here's a question. When are they going to quit calling X, formerly known as Twitter? When are they going to drop the formerly known as Twitter? What's the point of that? Anybody knows that Twitter is now changed to X. Why do they got to keep putting that? Every story I read known as Twitter. Yeah, X. They put that in every single story about it. It's like, what a waste. If you don't know it by now, then you haven't been around for the last. You've been buried in the sand for the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I know. On Facebook, people keep saying, "What's that X mean?" And
it's like,
why
is
it called that? Why is it's like? Elon Musk wants to be different. He wants to, get rid of the image of Twitter back in the day when they were censoring people and
I always thought Twitter was
off.
I always thought Twitter was a stupid name anyways,
Yeah.
Hey, look at me, I'm sending out tweets. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I tweet too if I eat too many beans, but that's a different story.
I send out X. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, much formerly known as Jack Dorsey. Never seen a black and white TV? Is that what he said? Mad Prophet has never seen it. Wow. I didn't see it. My parents did. My parents, they didn't get a color TV till after I was married and away from home. I was already in the service. I come home on leave and they've got a color TV. I said, really? 18 years of my life? The only time I got to see color was when we went over to my aunt and uncle's house because they had a color TV and we always went over there for the Rose Parade.
I think we got our first color TV just before we moved to Michigan.
Yeah.
And it was one of those console TVs.
Yeah.
After this.
Yeah, that's what my aunt
turntable and the stereo.
Sort of looked like a really nice coffin. A lot of coffin wood wasted on them TVs, And but it's black and white TV. I mean, for that matter, most of the shows weren't even broadcast in color until the mid 1960s, about 60. Yeah. When did
63, 64.
63, 64.
Yep, that's about right. Mm-hmm.
Was Batman color all through it, or was it?
Yes.
Okay, it was one of the first shows that was all color.
Now, Gilligan's Island started off black and white.
Black and white,
yeah. And Lost in Space.
Lost in Space is
Lost in Space, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea.
That was another good show I like.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the original movie? Did you see the movie before?
Yes. And who
Irwin
played
Allen that did
the
those?
Admiral?
In the movie or in the
In
TV
the
series?
movie.
Oh, God. I just watched this the other day.
Walter Pigeon.
Walter Pigeon. That's right. That's right. He did. Yeah. Welcome, in Dynasty. Did I say that right? Yeah.
No,
Chin.
Chin Dynasty.
Chin. That's what I said.
You
I've
said
got my partial. Well,
when
I've got my partials in, so I got a bit of a stammer.
you got
Plus, I've
something.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, those were good shows, and everybody was, well, we were patriotic.
Barney Miller.
Barney Miller, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My favorite one was someone brought in the hash brownies, and everybody was eating, except for the, Barney.
Right. I actually there was a show on. It's called Miss Fisher's Mysteries. It's an Australian show.
Yep.
And it's from the 1920s. It's in the 1920s, and she's actually she's in part of the her father is Lord somebody or another, and but they live in Australia. Or she lives in Australia. And on one of the shows, her cousin come down and was having a party for his engagement. And her cousin was always known to bring in the good stuff. And he made some really good brownies. And her butler, who had been a former commando in World War I, oh my God, that's the funniest scene, because they end up having to chase him around the yard, and he's just, here's this old bald head. Well, he looks a little bit like Dom, without the beard. Except maybe a little thinner, but but he's this proper English butler, and he is stoned out of his gourd. She says, "How many of those did you eat?" He goes, 2, 3, 4, I think. And of course, he used a whole crap load of hashish, and it is just hilarious to watch him run around like that, because it's just so, yeah. Yeah, they, but yeah, I mean, like you said, Barney Miller, that was a good show. There were a lot of good shows that were on during what I consider the golden age of television, which is from the mid 50s to the mid 60s. Maybe, well, it depends on what your tastes were. The 70s had some good stuff, but some of the 70s stuff. Yeah, well, some of the stuff doesn't age well, okay?
All in the Family.
All in the Family. Those are good shows. Good times, yeah. But what really is bad about those shows is you see the way they dress. And the hairstyles and there's some of that stuff just did not age well, It's like, so I try not to make fun of, my grandkids and stuff with their hairstyle and stuff, because I had an afro when I was in high school. I
watched an old video of B-52s doing rock lobster. Remember that one? And one of the gals had a huge ass beehive that was like 3 feet. Tall. No, it wasn't really a beehive. It was just a
bouffant, maybe?
Oh, it was huge. And the other gal had a huge ass beehive.
We were going through some, as we're doing some of this, we've run into some pictures that belong to Judy's parents. And there is one of Judy with her dad, and her hair, is about that tall. Well, her dad was well over 6 foot, 6'2", 6'1", 6'2", maybe 6'3", very tall guy. And she's all of 5'2", 5'3", but with that hair, she's only about this much shorter than him. It's like, okay,
Well, at least they didn't call her Marge.
No, but yeah, there were some really strange, but even at that, we still had humor. We still had, in some
we
way, I
laughed
think
at
we
ourselves and
laughed at ourselves, you know, but,
Mhm.
and they don't, now it's just, everything's so negative and so, yeah.
I know it's like you're walking on eggshells. You're afraid to.
Yeah.
I hate to be
Yeah.
a comedian where you're like going, so you're writing down a joke and you, shit, I can't say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh crap, I can't. What am I going to say?
Sanford and Sons, yes, that was another good one.
Sanford and Sons,
Point New England, yeah. Yeah, that was...
Elizabeth, I'm coming!
Yeah. There was it was just a whole different, you know, and the thing was is that was a time period when we had what was at the time minorities that were really starting to Chico and the Man, you know, you had a plethora of these new up and coming, and you know, Archie Bunker. Hell, Archie Bunker was probably, every one of us probably had an uncle that was like Archie Bunker. You know, and I mean, you know, I remember as a kid, you know, people that were black, we called them colored, you know. And my mother, for years, she would call him, you know, well, he's a nice colored kid, you know. I said, well, what color is he, Mom? What do you mean? I said, well, you know, I'm colored. I'm kind of pasty white, but I'm colored, you know. You know, and you know, it was terms that, you know, that's what they were raised in.
Well, you know, Elon Musk is African American.
South African. Yeah,
Yep.
he's actually Afrikaner, you know, which is
the
the
comedian
Dutch
Josh
African.
Blue, African American.
Yeah,
From Cameroon.
right. I know, and it's like there's a whole different, you know. But me, I'm pasty white. You know, I am what I am. You know, and you know, of course, I wouldn't go out of my way to offend anybody. Not well. I try to offend equally. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm going to offend, I want to offend everybody. You know, which is the trick is don't be afraid. That's the purpose of censorship, self-censorship or otherwise. It's supposed to create a chilling effect of free speech, expression, and belief. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said.
Yep.
And for those of you that don't know, yeah, you probably figured out, and well, everybody's watching probably knows I'm a conservative, so, yeah. Like that, that's a dirty name, you know?
Yeah.
It's just everybody's just
Uncle Roger
too
gonna
damn-
try my best to behave myself. No yelling at customer unless they are idiot.
I love that word, idiot.
Egypt.
Oh, what was I heard today? There's a guy was talking to this guy, and he says, "What did he say?" He says, "What side of stupid are you on?" You know,
Yeah.
well, that's a good question. What side of stupid are you on? I thought that's well put. You know, I guess it was in. I think we're watching CSI Miami. You know.
Yeah, that was David Caruso.
David Caruso, yes. Yeah. Yeah. Did you
Hey, we
notice
got
on that
Tammy
show?
Jean.
Hey, Tammy.
Hello, Tammy Jean. Yes.
Hey.
BJ and the Bear. That was another good one.
Yep.
Yeah.
About Knight Rider.
Knight Rider. Yeah. The $6 million man. I mean, you know, we
Oh,
have
yeah.
the technology, you know. The Bionic Woman. Yeah.
Yep, Bionic Woman.
And look at Tarzan, you know, the old Tarzan with Johnny Weissmuller. I mean, you know,
Yep.
that
Didn't
was
Buster Crabbe play Tarzan at one time?
he was the first Tarzan. He was the first talking Tarzan. There was one that was a silent Tarzan, but the first talking Tarzan was Buster.
You
Buster
couldn't
Crabbe.
hear him yell on that one.
Right. And it was actually Johnny Weissmuller developed that yell. It was actually him that
I
developed
thought it was
that.
Carol Burnett.
No. They'd been using that Tarzan yell long before Carol Burnett ever became anybody important. But the thing was, Buster Crabbe was not only was he Tarzan, he was also Buck Rogers, and Flash Gordon, all at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah, he actually competed against himself from one studio to the other. He was, if it's a Flash Gordon movie, hey, I'm getting paid. If it's a Buck Rogers movie, oh, okay, I'm getting paid. Oh, Tarzan, yeah, why not? And and of course he returned in Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. He did a cameo as Commander Gordon. As Commander Gordon. So he played in the original. But yeah, I thought they were all the same show for a while. Back we used to, on Saturday mornings after kind of as the cartoons dwindled down, we would watch. They would play Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon. So,
who can remember Crazy Cat?
Crazy Cat. Oh yeah.
That's where the mouse would throw the brick at the cat.
Yes,
and the cat would get hit and fall in love with the mouse. Yep.
Yeah.
Heckle and Jekyll.
Heckle and Jekyll. Felix the cat.
Felix.
Not to be confused with Fritz the cat.
Exactly.
Yep.
So definitely, it was not
Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry. Yeah.
Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny. Yeah. And they've brought Bugs Bunny and some of those shows back onto Max, but it's not the originals. It's a remade. Really, it's got that almost. Well, yeah, it's almost anime. They don't have the good cartooning that they did back then. Because
that 2-dimensional cartoons.
Yeah, well, yeah. The only thing that moved was the actual characters. The background stayed still. That was, Hanna-Barbera did that. I mean, because Tom and Jerry, I mean, that was MGM that did those, and they were probably the next competitor to Disney. But Tom and Jerry had some really good animation in them. The original Tom and Jerry.
How about Speed Racer?
Yep.
Go Speed Racer. Go Speed Racer. Go.
Let's see. The Perils of Pauline and Dudley Do-Right.
Underdog. Where is my underdog gone?
Yeah.
Roger Ramjet.
There's another good one. Tennessee Tuxedo.
Johnny Quest.
Johnny Quest.
Oh,
and
how could you forget Johnny Quest? Holy crap.
Yeah. I mean, that was a really good show. So
that was only on for one season.
Yeah, it was. It was short, wasn't it? But the seasons back then,
a couple times, but
they've tried and it's never worked.
Yeah.
And what about the Thunderbirds?
Yeah,
the original Thunderbirds with the marionettes. That was, yeah, and the people that did that, they did an adult version of this. Oh yeah, it's pretty bad. You can find it on YouTube. It's American something, I can't remember, but they realized how much.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was done back in the 90s, I think.
90s, yeah.
Early 2000s.
Yeah.
It's
pretty bad. It's
America
definitely,
World Police.
Yeah, that's it. America World Police. Yeah. It's just not right seeing puppets do that. I'm sorry. There's just something wrong with that. But hey. The Wacky Races. Yes, Grant. That's right.
Wacky Races.
Let's see. Why does Tim think he's invisible? Did I not say hi to Tim Jackson? I thought we did.
I think we all did.
Yeah, I said. We got Mike B, a.k.a. the Drone Ranger.
Yes.
And Steve Knowles.
Steve Knowles, yep. Yeah.
Steven Drones.
We've got a good crowd tonight.
Yep.
That's about what we're averaging, but in the 20s,
Yep.
Usually above 20. And don't forget, if you do want to learn something about drones, watch Drone Nation, which is at the top of the hour, about another 10 minutes.
They'll talk about the Mini 4.
The Mini 4, yeah. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that thing, that post on Facebook. So,
right,
just another drone I won't get.
Oh, and the Flintstones.
Oh yeah, remember the whole thing about Pebbles being born? That was like because it was a primetime cartoon. That was the grown-ups watched the Flintstones. And
right,
the whole thing about Pebbles, and then of course the Rubbles found Bam Bam and
Bam Bam,
adopted
and
him.
how depressed Barney was.
Barney was because
when he was about to jump off that bridge.
Really, I can't remember that one.
Yeah, they had a suicide episode where he was about to, he had a rock tied to his leg, and he was going to, and Fred was there, and he talked him down, and yeah.
And Ellie Mae Clampett, yeah, that would be considered sexism now,
Yeah.
And well, good God, look at the Dukes of Hazzard. There's a that's a whole different plethora of problems that they've got. And John Schneider actually did a movie.
We have been watching Kim's Convenience.
Yeah.
I don't think that show could be made today.
No.
Some of those.
Oh, really?
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Someone will get butthurt over certain things.
Especially that episode with the shorts. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
And Terrence, he's the one that, he wanted this. He wore those skin tight shorts, and Shannon was like, "What the hell have we done?"
Yeah.
Mrs. Brown's Boys.
That really goes close to the line.
Yeah, that one. That's a good one to watch. It's hilarious. Actually, Grant got me started watching that a long time ago, and I think it's available on. I can't remember which channel we watched it on, because Judy and I watched it there for a while, and she's like, "Oh, really?
The Honeymooners, yes.
If you really want to watch something that will offend people today, there's an English comedy by the name of Love Thy Neighbor. You've never seen
that?
it?
Yep.
And another one that goes close on the racial stereotypes is Mind Your Language. It's also an English comedy.
Right. Yeah. There's, we're so easily offended by things now. It's like, we're so thin skinned.
People are now getting offended by the movie Grease.
Grease? Really?
Yeah, saying it was problematic.
Yeah. They probably find something wrong with American Graffiti. I'm sure
they'll keep going back and back. They tried to cancel Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
Huckleberry Finn. They're trying to get that banned from schools because
they've tried to get it.
Says the N-word.
Right. It was a different time. It was a different culture. We have evolved. Yes. But if you go by Darwin's theory of evolution, I think we're going backwards now.
Yeah, we're
devolving. Yeah, we're devolving instead of evolving. Yeah.
Yeah. And Bach, he's decomposing.
Yeah, exactly.
Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids, yep.
Oh, yeah. People are now getting offended by their own home movies. Ain't that the truth? It's just like...
People just get offended by their own offense.
Yeah.
Say one thing, oh, no, I'm offended by that.
Yeah. Yeah, anybody watching my show, just know that I treat everybody, I try to offend equally.
Everybody.
You know, if you don't like it, bite me. You know.
Yeah.
You need to lower the volume on those just a little bit because they're just almost to the point of not quite too loud, but they're sharp. And so I was going to tell you that
it's
earlier.
Anime, Lloyd.
Well, I know, but all of your voice and your sound effects override your voice.
Oh, okay.
And so you need to.
This would teach you to listen to authority.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a little bit loud.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go back and vmix later.
That's what I had to do was on my vmix go back and lower mine, so mine aren't that loud. I found out the sound effects tend to play a lot louder than just your voice. You know, because you're probably running your voice through a mixer. You've got a XLR mic, so whereas the sound effects are running straight off of the computer system, and they don't have they're the straight raw audio, you know. So and in vmix, when you add a new sound to it, it automatically puts it at the top. So I almost always have to. As a matter of fact, that reminds me, because we are getting ready to. I need to go and make sure that I do not have my new closing. Yep, and that's where it's at too. If I'd have done that, I gotta have that checked too. Glad I went back and checked all that before the closing of the show. But anyway, so so it's been a hectic day for me. I'm tired, but I know it's been a crappy day for you, Charles. But it's the majority of the population is transgender.
How's that?
Maybe a smidge more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Even drama queens need a complete breakfast.
That's good right there. That's a lot better. Yeah. Yeah. As a matter of fact, because of that, when I was telling you that, I remembered I've got this new closing. It's just like I said, 28-second closing, and it's got sound with it. So I thought, oh crap, I better lower. And I looked at it, and it was like, phew. All right, Justin, you take care. Justin says he's leaving. So, and it's coming up on 8:00, and everybody will be going over to either Justin's going to be doing a show, or they'll be going over to Drone Nation with Ron Brown.
Drone Nation,
which he puts a lot of work into his show. He's me. I just come in here and sit down, and I got a bunch of buttons I can push, and that's it.
Me, I just come up with a couple topics. We'll breeze through that in the first half hour.
Oh,
the rest of it is
said there,
bullshit.
Captain Joe America says there is no Drone Nation tonight. Okay.
Oh,
all right.
Okay. Now I can go watch Kim's Convenience.
They made they made a Linda Lovelace cartoon, but it went down in the ratings. Oh God, yeah, that's. Yeah, see, right there, your sound effects are perfect. Because we can still hear what other people are saying, but still hear the sound effects good and clear. That was perfect. So. Drone Nation was last night. This is Monday. They're always on Monday. They're always at 8:00.
Didn't they do a?
Oh, they did do a special, didn't they? I saw that pop up, and so. Well, I would stay on to take their time, but I can't do it because I am tired. I still got some things I got to finish up, and and we're lucky my internet stayed on for the whole hour. So,
and I'm interested to see your outro.
You want to see my outro? Okay, guys. Well, let's go around. Art, anything special coming up on your show or on your channel?
My eye's healing up. just got a little. Oh, where is it? A little bit black and blue, and just got a show Saturday. Oh, next Sunday. Back by popular demand.
Thaddeus McCotter.
Congressman Thaddeus McCotter.
Yes, Thaddeus.
Welcome back.
Always fun.
McCotter.
Right. International.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yeah, Andrew, we've been having constant internet. Everybody in our neighborhood has lost their internet. I don't know. It's like Thursday. It went off every 15 minutes. As regular as clockwork. Oh yeah, and it was out today twice. So now I went and rebooted everything, and they finally turned it back on. But so Dominic, you're going to be heading over to another show, probably.
No, I've got a couple of other things I have to do.
Ah, okay, okay,
and get back to life.
Well, I appreciate it. And Charles, I'm sure we'll see you on another show somewhere.
Yes.
You know, and we'll be getting to see you gaming sometime this week, probably.
I think we're supposed to be back on this Friday with the second half of what we started 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll look for that.
We took a break this past Friday.
Anyway, I wanted to talk to Steve. I'm the fishing channel is on hiatus because I just found 3 nights of me doing a show is just a little too much. Plus doing this show, which would be 4 shows. And if I do Bill's show, I'm like, last night I did 2 hours of Bill's, and I was just like beat.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I got kind of cranky about me even.
Well, so, you know, and it was. I watched it, but then I was also watching. Judy was having a rough night before, and then last night was rough, and she was having a lot of breathing problems. So I only half listened to it, you know, and so. But yeah, let's. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and let's see if I can find this. Anyways, guys, let me put me on. I'm going to bump you guys out, and then I'll bring you back in to say good. Well, let's see. I'll just do this. How about that? And this is my outro, guys. And thanks everybody for being here. And don't forget. And with that, yeah, that was those
audio just a little more.
Yep, I realized that. I brought it down too low, but yeah. And with that, everybody, good night. Thanks for being here. And all those pictures those are all AI images of me, as you could tell with some of them. You know, they're all AI generated, and I used Canva to make that. And then I used whatever it is they use on MacBook to make the AI stuff. No, I used Reface. So anyways, guys, good night. Have a good one. I'm going to call it a night. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Y'all take care, folks.